Hey, how's it going? My name's Alex and this is my Ford and that is my trailer over here. And today I'm gonna show you how, or teach you or explain to you how to hook up a gooseneck trailer. Okay, so regardless of whether you're using the rail system like I am or you have the OEM puck system, you will have a ball, obviously, duh, and then you're gonna have holes. These are for your chains, and so that's what those are for. So if you have a puck system, you'll have like little hooks that come out from your bed, but I just have these right in the plate. So keep in mind, you will have all of this. It just might look slightly different depending on how your truck is set up. Now, while you're in your bed, you want to make sure that you mark, or not necessarily mark, right? Because this is an enterprise rental, and I can't mark my trailer, like where the bed or where the tailgate is right in the middle. I can't do that because they'll probably get me in trouble. So if you own your truck, you could mark the middle of your trailer. If you do not own your truck, then maybe like, see how the Ford logo is right here? You could, it'll be hard to see that from the driver's side or from where you're sitting. So you want to just pay attention. So like you see these bolts here and these bolts here. And so that means you want to try to aim at least, because these bolts are a little bit bigger than this little Ford logo. So you want to try to aim it right between these two, right? So you just want to kind of roughly estimate where the center of your tailgate is, because more than likely if you aim it in the center of your tailgate, it's then too short of a distance to mess it up before you get to your ball. So keep in mind, notice where your center is and aim the center right at that gooseneck hitch. All right, so now you're sitting in your driver's seat, you're roughly lined up, you're just kind of in front of your trailer, and what you want to do is you want to slowly start backing up, but you want to, like I said, notice where the middle of the tailgate is and back up. Now you have two options to look backwards and see how you're backing up. Option number one, of course, is right here. You see how my back window is covered with with my weather techs. So what I do is, I obviously sleep in the truck because I'm a transporter, and so you can either take those off, or the other option is to kind of stand. If you have side steps like I do right here, see the side steps right here? You can kind of stand outside of your truck and kind of just look back like this. So like you see how I'm standing like this, I just look back like that with my foot on my brake over here. Can you see it? Right here with my foot on my brake like this as I'm slowly backing up, right? So right now I'm in park, obviously, but you can kind of see just over, like right between there's the middle, there's the bolts over there that I was mentioning, and there's those four dents in the bed. Oh, hold on, can you see that? Maybe like this. There you go. So right there is the two bolts, and then right there in there is the middle of the trailer. So I know that I need to aim it in the middle. So you can either like look at the back of your bed like this, or you could do like one of these, like this. So you could basically look right back that way. So here, let me take out my WeatherTech thing really fast. Okay, so now doing one of these is super easy, because you just see right over the back seat, and look at that, there it is, the middle of the trailer. So then you want to just put your truck in reverse. Obviously you want to make sure your e-brake isn't on, which mine is not, and then you just want to slowly back it up, and you want to steer, right? You can see I'm steering, right? And just like this, I'm backing up right to the middle. Okay, and then roughly somewhere where when your tailgate is under your hitch, like this, right? So right here, my tailgate is under my hitch. You want to roughly take a look right from behind, and look at that, perfectly centered. Like I said, through the rear glass, it's really easy. But the important part is you want to look down and make sure that it roughly looks like that your ball is going to clear the hitch, right? Because maybe somebody else was pulling your trailer and your trailer isn't jacked up enough. So this is when now would be a good time to check if your hitch is high enough before you crash into your ball. And then obviously it looks good, we're centered. Now we just back up some more, and then that should do it. And then I get out at least one time and look, because usually if you have a toolbox, you don't want to go too far because then you'll bump into your toolbox. So I get out, I look, and looks like we just have a couple more inches to go. Okay, let's take a look, hold on. Okay, sure enough, look at that, we're right in the middle. You can see when it drops down, it'll line up perfectly. Now, usually you want to have a little bit of grease on your ball. This is a new plate with the ball that I literally just bought, because this Enterprise rental, I just picked it up. So you want to drop it down onto the thing right now, and so that's what we're gonna do. Obviously, you should know how to use a jack. That's fairly self-explanatory, like this. So this slides in, so this right here, and then you want to go like this. And you want to just spin, 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 and it'll go down. And then I will show you how to connect the trailer next. All right, so now the gooseneck hitch is on the ball, and now what you want to do is you want to lift your legs. But what I recommend always is to go all the way to the top, right? So I have a little more to go, but usually when your legs are off the ground, it's really easy to go fast like this. So that's what you want to do. Like, okay, there you go. They say it can't go anymore. Then you want to put this back like this. And then you want to lift your tailgate first. That's the first thing you do, because what happens is now we got to go pick up our legs, and usually you can bump into the tailgate. So that's the first thing you do. Next thing you want to do is, since you're already out here, you want to grab your cable. Most trailers have it inside, most trucks, excuse me, have it inside the bed. My truck does not, so we have to connect it to the bumper. So right here, while we're in here, you want to just, so the connectors have, you see how it's a little sticks out on the bottom? You want to make sure you look at your hitch, right? So we take a look, and on the Fords, you see the indent, it's on the bottom, whereas on the Rams, it's on the top. So you want to pay attention to where that is, because that is the only way it'll go into your truck. Now this is a 7-way, this down here is a 4-way. Oh, it looks like this is broken on my truck. I just picked up this rental, so I didn't even know that. So then we connect it, and you see right here, there's a little latch on the lid. You want to make sure that that latch, that your cable goes past this latch right here. So you see that? Boom, now it can't come out. Well, I mean, right there, you see how it's connected? You can't come out right here, see that? Right there when I open the lid, that's holding it in there now, so it won't go anywhere. So it looks like somebody, maybe the guy that rented before this, maybe he broke it. And I remember on my other Ford, I did the exact same thing, because this cable is pretty short. Okay, now we're under the trailer. What you want to do is you want to pull this pin, and when you pull this pin, this thing is going to snap up. And what you want to do is you want to kind of hold your foot like this. You want to pull it, and don't let it snap because it's loud. There you go. And so you can do that instead. Now, same thing here. You can pull it and let it, there you go. So, boom, now your jacks are clearing the ground, you're connected, you have lights and brakes, but we also need to come back in here and connect the hitch. So what you want to do is, and my mistake, I should have said something, that before you back up under your trailer, you want to make sure your pin is open, right? So this right here, that means it's locked. Now this can't open, right? So you want to make sure your trailer was ready to receive the ball. And of course mine was, because I just disconnected with my other truck. So right here, see that when it opens like this right here. So this opens and lets the ball come out, right? So this right here locks it so it does not open. So that's your first security measure, right? So that means it's locked and it won't open. Now your next security measure is your chains, right? And what you want to do, here's your chains. You get 2 of them, usually right here. Like I said, you have your holes, you want to go like that and put them in there. Now the reason I have to do it this way is because this way it doesn't fit. I would want to, so like this, I can't do it like that, see? So that's why you have to go like that. So that's one chain, that's your second security measure, and here's your second chain right here. There. Now, your third and final security measure is your breakaway cable. Now, this happens, so if you lose your trailer, this will pull this pin and it'll activate your brakes with it, because your trailers have a small battery on them right there. And so what happens is when this pin is pulled, it activates your brakes. And so, God forbid, in the worst case scenario, your trailer gets disconnected. This cannot be connected in the same place where your chains are connected or where your hitch is connected, right? So it can't be connected right here. This has to be connected to a separate part of the truck, which I usually, and I haven't had any problems with it, I usually connect it right here. So like this. So there you go. Now, what's gonna happen if I crash, right? In the worst case scenario, this will pull away. Hopefully this will crash and rip out this bolt, these bolts with the pins, right? It'll rip out from here, and hopefully this will stay on the truck. And that means this won't go anywhere. And so it'll pull the pin and activate my brakes. So that's how you want to do it. You want to make sure you lock your hitch right here. That's 1. Put your chains 2, and put your safety breakaway 3. Now, the last and final thing you want to check is your lights before you start rolling. So your lights are very simple. You turn on your lights and you turn on your hazards. And the reason you want to turn on your hazards right away is if your hazard is working, that means your blinkers are working, right, usually. And if your running lights are working, that means all of your lights, you can tell whether, because you need your running lights to see everyone. So here you go. Right here I have, this one's blinking, that one right there is blinking as well, and looks like all my running lights are working. Okay, cool, fantastic. So now the next thing, now obviously this video is called how to connect to your goosenecks, and that's what we just did. But the next thing you want to do when you roll down the road, go about 50 miles or so, and then stop, right, and check your hubs. Now, how do you check your hubs, right? Because your hubs will tell you if something is wrong or not, if you're overheating on somewhere specifically. So for example, what you want to do when you stop 50 miles after you connect is just hold up your hand like this to this part of your axle, so, or of your hub. So now the reason you want to do that is, now keep in mind, some trailers have like this decorative cover. That cover doesn't tell you anything. It's best to just throw that away. So the reason holding this is because this piece of metal is your drum, and your brakes rub against it, and also it houses your bearings. So this will tell you one of two things is wrong. Either your bearings are wrong or your brakes on this hub are wrong. And so if one is really, really hot compared to the others, then that means, obviously they're all cold right now, but if one is really, really hot, then that means something is wrong with that one specifically, and it just narrows it down to 2 options: bearings or brakes. Now, if you have one side that's hot and the other one is not, that means maybe that side has brakes that are too strong, or maybe the bearings on that side are going bad because you hit something. So you just want to pay attention to your trailer when you're rolling down the road. Every time you stop, you want to take a look at it, and especially when you first hit the road, it's super, super important. Okay, that's gonna do it for this video on how to hook up a gooseneck. Comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.